Chapter 12:11. Stepping into southern border. Wind was blowing around him. The grassland below was rapidly moving in Feng Yuan's vision as he flew past it. After more than 10 days of traveling, the huge green regional wall appeared in front of Feng Yuan. Suddenly, Feng Yuan's expression changed. He sensed that Dark Limit Immortal Gu's power was rapidly weakening. Someone is deducing about me again. Feng Yuan realized that he quickly used Dark Limit Immortal Gu, resisting the deduction's power. Feng Yuan had already encountered this problem many times. Recently, Feng Yuan killed Yi Lui Kunxing and plundered 2 resource points of Lu tribe. Not only did he empty them out, he even killed a rank 6 enslavement path Gu immortal, Lu Yong. Thus, while Feng Yuan was leaving Northern Plains, he encountered many deductions about himself. The frequency was much higher than before. Thankfully, Feng Yuan had Wisdom Path Grandmaster attainment level, and also Dark Limit Immortal Gu to defend himself. But Dark Limit Immortal Gu had a flaw. Every time it was activated, it would need to rest for a long time before it could be used again. Feng Yuan needed to consider this point and avoid a situation where he had to use Dark Limit Immortal Gu, but it was not ready for use. Nurture, use, refinement. The mastery of Gu was deep and profound. There were many things to take note of depending on different Gu worms. Lu Tribe. 3 Lu Tribe Gu Immortals were in the Gu formation, consuming their immortal essence as they maintained the operations of the Gu formation. A moment later, the Gu formation stopped. The 3 Gu Immortals took their rest. Failed again? Outside the Gu formation, Rank 7 Light Path expert Lu Chang shifted his feet as he spoke in a disappointed tone. We have failed Lord Lu Chang's request. We are extremely ashamed. The 3 Lu Tribe Gu Immortals sighed as they lowered their heads. Having ugly expressions, Lu Chang snorted coldly, looking at the 3 Immortals unhappily, but his tone had calmed down. Forget it. Our Lu Tribe do not have any Wisdom Path Gu Immortals. This Gu formation can only achieve the effects of a Wisdom Path deduction. I will go and find Tianxia Xin for help now. Pardon me for saying this, Lord Lu Chang, but we failed to deduce it not because our formation is weak, but because the enemy has very strong defensive methods that prevent others from making deductions about him. The leader of the 3 Gu Immortals said, That is the case? Lu Chang's expression became darker, but he muttered to himself. The other party is a transformation path, Gu Immortal specialized in ancient sword dragon transformation. How can he have such methods? But who knows? Transformation path is said to project all paths. But the higher possibility is that this demon Lu Guan Yi has helpers. Domination Immortal Chu Du. Even though he expelled Lu Guan Yi, I do not believe that he would do nothing. These demonic path or lone immortals are nothing good. Saying this, Lu Chang gritted his teeth. His expression became ruthless. Lu Guan Yi plundered 2 of Lu Tribe's important resource points, and even killed a Gu Immortal from Lu Tribe. How could they take this lying down? Lu Chang was ordered to kill Lu Guan Yi, but after so many days, he had not made any progress. Earlier, for his sister's safety, he did not chase after Feng Yuan. This matter caused a bad reaction in the tribe. Right now Lu Chang was enduring huge pressure. He wanted to find Feng Yuan at this very moment. Lu Guan Yi, you coward, where are you? Lu Chang felt extremely stifled. He had no idea that he was going to be even more stifled from now on. Because Feng Yuan had already left Northern Plains, going to other regions, that Yi Lui tribe was similarly as troubled as Lu Chang, that Yi Lui Kunxing died at Feng Yuan's hands. Yi Lui tribe was definitely going to seek revenge. And now, Feng Yuan was expelled from Chu sect. Yi Lui tribe immediately took action to investigate and pursue Feng Yuan. The Gu Immortals that they sent were not weaker than Lu Chang. Unfortunately, Feng Yuan had already left Northern Plains. Feng Yuan successfully passed the Licorice Regional Wall. This mystical regional wall that surrounded Northern Plains was filled with green fog. Grass was growing wildly in the fog and was constantly twining and twisting, like a sea of snakes or hair. Feng Yuan's sovereign immortal aperture could pass through without any obstruction. After passing the Licorice Regional Wall, Feng Yuan got into the Blue Water Regional Wall of Eastern Sea. When he passed the Blue Water Regional Wall and reached Eastern Sea, his aura had completely changed. It was that of an Eastern Sea Gu Immortal. This was one of the special attributes of the sovereign. Immortal body. Everywhere Feng Yuan went, he would perfectly integrate into the environment, like he was born and bred there. It was unlike other Gu immortals. Their external region aura was very obvious. Undergoing tribulation was also very troublesome. They had to return to their region to do it. Otherwise, taking in another region's heaven and earth chi would cause a lot of problems. After entering Eastern Sea, Feng Yuan did not travel in a rush. He went to Qingyu Blessed Land and rested for a while. This blessed land was left by Gu immortal Lu Qingyu. After Feng Yuan killed him, the Duckland spirit was successfully controlled by Feng Yuan. Meeting Feng Yuan again, the Duckland spirit was excited. It quacked and jumped up and down. Feng Yuan said comforting words to it as the Duckland spirit shed tears of joy. Quack, quack. I knew that Master did not abandon me. Sadly, Feng Yuan's attainment level was too low. He could not annex this ranked 7 blessed land. Feng Yuan rested for a while, waiting for Dark Limit Immortal Gu to recover. Because this blessed land was a small world, during this period, anyone who deduced things about Feng Yuan would fail. It would not expend Dark Limit Immortal Gu's power. By the time Dark Limit Immortal Gu could be used again, Feng Yuan did not hesitate to use it on himself. After this replenishment, Feng Yuan left Qingyu Blessed Land, going to the turbulent Flow Sea area. The troublesome path in the chaotic currents wasted multiple days, but he eventually got into City Well. There were many immortal apertures inside City Well. Feng Yuan used the upper extreme Heavenly Eagle, entering and annexing a portion of the Blessed Lands. Feng Yuan progressed by 2 calamities and tribulations again. The effect was not good. The remaining immortal apertures were mostly water path, but Feng Yuan's water path attainment level was just ordinary. After leaving, Feng Yuan did not rush ahead once again. He went to Qingyu Blessed Land and waited for Dark Limit Immortal Gu to recover before leaving for his destination. After leaving Northern Plains and going to Eastern Sea, the deductions from Northern Plains became extremely weak. Each deduction expended less of Dark Limit's concealment power. Feng Yuan was much different from before now. Not only was he aware about Heaven's will, he knew how to guard against it. He even had Dark Limit Immortal Gu and many Wisdom Path methods to protect himself. Of course, most importantly, his cultivation level and battle strength had risen greatly as well. Compared to the time after the Battle of Etion Mountain, when Feng Yuan went from southern border to northern plains, there was an evident contrast. Right now, if Feng Yuan met a group of ancient cloud beasts, he would not be chased around. The ones in danger would not be Feng Yuan, but the ancient cloud beasts instead. Thinking about it, Feng Yuan felt deeply. After gaining the sovereign immortal body, his cultivation level was rising at a shocking speed. It was worthy of the ultimate product created by Spectral Soul, Shadow Sect, and Zombie Alliance. After spending 100,000 years of time and effort, of course, the stronger the sovereign immortal body, the greater the enmity between Feng Yuan and Shadow Sect was. This irreconcilable feud made Feng Yuan deeply concerned about Ing Wuxie and the rest. Unfortunately, Ing Wuxie and the others were crafty. Feng Yuan could not find their locations. Otherwise, he would rather give up on the annexing of blessed lands and get rid of these threats first. Tens of days later, Feng Yuan finally got through Eastern Sea's Blue Water Regional Wall and Southern Border's Miasma Regional Wall, officially stepping into Southern Border. Interestingly, be it Feng Yuan or Ing Wuxie, they did not know that the other party was in the same region. I have heard long ago that the location of Etion Mountain has been sealed with a huge defensive Gu formation, made by the Righteous Path Gu Immortals together. I should go and check out the situation first. Feng Yuan had no idea how to enter the giant dream realm now that he decided to gather intelligence first. He flew southwest. The flying journey was filled with lots of detours, of course, considering Heaven's will. If Feng Yuan flew straight, that would be giving Heaven's will a chance to set up trouble. Someone is deducing about me. While flying, Feng Yuan felt Dark Limit Immortal Gu's power weakening and found it laughable. Southern Border, Northern Plains, they were separated by 2 regional walls. Feng Yuan's danger of being deduced was extremely low as expected. In Northern Plains Myriad Bean Garden, Gu Immortal Tian Xia Xian returned half of the payment to Lu Chong. Lu Chong had an ugly expression. and disbelief in his eyes. What? Even you could not deduce it. Wisdom Path Gu Immortal Tian Xia Xin smiled bitterly. Wisdom Path deductions are not all-powerful. I have tried my best. I am deeply sorry. Lu Chong flew away from Myriad Bean Garden at a slow speed. He was very troubled and very lost. If the current number 1 Wisdom Path Gu Immortal in Northern Plains, Tian Xia Xin, could not deduce Lu Guanyi's location, who could? Lu Guanyi, you had better pray that you never bump into me ever. Lu Chong swore. He had deep killing intent in his icy cold eyes, and no matter how deep his killing intent was, Fang Yuan was living a good life. Oh, they stopped deducing. When these people pay an even bigger price and obtain no results, they should stop. Fang Yuan laughed. Northern Plains, Snowy Mountain. A Hong Yun looked at Lady Wan Shou, who was approaching, as he stared angrily. Go ahead, you vicious woman. Lady Wan Shou snickered. She pressed the lightning ball into Ma Hong Yun's chest. Crack, crack, crack. Ma Hong Yun's body trembled intensely. He was emitting smoke due to the lightning. G.H. Lady Wan Shou spit out a mouthful of blood. She had a pale expression. Why did I fail again? Her eyes were blood red. After failing so many times, her elegant demeanor was gone. A Hong Yun forced himself to stay conscious. He said weakly, How would I know? I don't want it to fail. Just succeed. If you succeed once, I'll die. Death will end it. I will not undergo such torture again. Saying so, Ma Hong Yun could not stay awake anymore. His eyes revolved backwards as he fainted. Chapter 12:12. Burning Soul, Bursting Luck. Chirp, chirp. A yellow-haired female monkey pranced around, running towards Fang Yuan with nimble steps. The yellow-haired monkey stood in front of Fang Yuan, offering its peach to Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan received it wordlessly, before tossing it below the tree. The female monkey was shocked. It waved its arms as it jumped around Fang Yuan. It yelled and caused the branch that Fang Yuan was standing on to shake. The leaves were rustling as some fell to the ground. Fang Yuan covered his face with his hands, sighing. As he lowered his head, the female monkey approached Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan kicked, sending the monkey down the tree. The female monkey fell off the tree. It gritted its teeth in pain. Looking at Fang Yuan on the tree, the attraction in its eyes turned into fear. It quickly escaped while limping. Fang Yuan's appearance now had changed. His entire figure had turned from a human to a male monkey. Precisely so. He attracted the affection of that female monkey. This was the peak of a nameless mountain. Fang Yuan came here, disguised as a monkey. He had been here for half a month already. He concealed his identity. His focus was on observing the Super Gu formation. That's right. In front of him was the Super Dream Realm. Unfortunately, the giant dream realm was completely concealed by the Righteous Path's Gu formation. With the naked eye, one could only see the scene of a verdant green mountain. Even if Fang Yuan used his methods, he could only see past the surface. The inside of the Gu formation was still very blurry. Unfortunately, my strongest investigative method is 3 breaths future vision. It cannot deal with this Super Gu formation. There must be many immortal Gu inside this Super Gu formation. The one who arranged this Gu formation is Qi Clan's first Supreme Elder, Qi Chuyu. This person is a Formation Path Great Grandmaster. The strongest immortal Gu formation he has ever made is called 329 Pool Formation. His Qi Clan descendant Gu Immortals had used this formation during the 5 Regions Chaotic War and killed many Central Continent Gu Immortals. This formation was made during Qi Chuyu's later years. He is still far from dying now. But maybe I can deduce it from this Super Gu formation in front of me. It has the style of 329 Pool Formation, formations inside formations, overlapping in layers. Right now, this Gu formation has only used a portion of its power. It has not even activated Immortal Gu. After all, that would consume immortal essence. Even so, with my observations these last days, just I alone cannot destroy a Gu formation of this level. Not to mention that inside, there are at least 13 Righteous Path Gu Immortals. There were 13 super forces in Southern Border's Righteous Path. The Super Gu formation here was made through everyone's efforts. To defend their own interests, each clan had sent at least 1 Gu Immortal to defend it. These Gu Immortals were elites of their own clans. Otherwise, they would not be able to control the situation. The defense is too tight. If I want to get in and use Unravel Dream, forcing my way through is impossible. I need to plan wisely. Fang Yuan shook his head internally. But what plan should he use? Fang Yuan did not know. There were no clear options, because this problem involved the entire southern border righteous path. These righteous path forces had worked together. They were united. Their distribution of benefits was also very reasonable. Fang Yuan was all alone. Even though he had rank 7 cultivation level, against such a huge force, there was nothing he could do. These righteous path forces could stay in power until today and dominate most of southern border's cultivation resources. There was a good reason for it. Like before, Fang Yuan attempted to disrupt northern plains. In the end, the righteous path forces and Chu Du resisted him. Fang Yuan had been reborn, but because of heaven's will, the advantage of his rebirth was quite small. Most crucially, this giant dream realm also had goo formations that were not used in his previous life. Thus, Fang Yuan's understanding of it was minimal. What should I do? Fang Yuan was troubled. Bai Ning Bing, who was inside Bai Xiang Grotto Heaven, stared at the land spirit with an equally troubled feeling. I broke through the 30 halls and cut down all my obstacles. I finally met you, but you refused to acknowledge me as your master? Bai Ning Bing stared at Bai Xiang Heavenly Spirit. He had an icy expression. Bai Xiang Heavenly Spirit was an old man that he smoked his cigar as he sat on the steps. He looked at Bai Ning Bing and breathed in deeply, before puffing out deeply. Oh, young people these days, they are so hasty. When you came here, I said that if you get through the 30 halls, I will meet you. I did not say that I will acknowledge you as master. Getting here just means that you have the initial qualifications to accept the following test. What is the following test? Bai Ning Bing asked coldly. Bring back an immortal material. Bai Xiang Heavenly Spirit looked at Bai Ning Bing, chuckling with a creepy look. What immortal material? Where? Bai Ning Bing asked. Do you see that hole at the top of the hall? Bai Xiang Heavenly Spirit pointed up and said, I saw it the moment I came here. It is too eye-catching. Bai Ning Bing said plainly. Bai Xiang Heavenly Spirit sighed again. The greatest use of this immortal goo house, 30 heavenly halls, is to store large amounts of immortal materials. But a few thousand years ago, one immortal material at the highest layer broke through the ceiling and flew away. What? Bai Ning Bing was surprised. Don't look so shocked, young man. This world is huge beyond your imagination. The profundities of all life forms, you will encounter it in the future, and feel for yourself the grandness of heaven and earth. Bai Xiang Heavenly Spirit sighed. Stop prattling. Get to the point. Bai Ning Bing interrupted mercilessly. Oh, youngster, you have no patience. Listening to an old man's words is good for you. Bai Xiang Heavenly Spirit sighed. Bai Ning Bing was silent, only staring at Bai Xiang Heavenly Spirit with his blue eyes. Bai Xiang Heavenly Spirit smoked another puff as he said, All right, I'll tell you. I want you to subdue that flame. It is hidden deep in the sea to the west. Normally, you cannot find it because it can fuse with sea water completely, but once in a while, it will float to the surface and frolic around. That is your best chance to catch it. Bai Ning Bing followed Bai Xiang Heavenly Spirit's guidance, arriving at the western coastline. The sea was wide and vast. There were many waves on the surface. It was a magnificent sight. Bai Ning Bing had hidden here for more than 10 days. He finally found the chance that Bai Xiang Heavenly Spirit had mentioned. Swish, swish, swish. Countless waves appeared on the surface of the sea, causing tides that were more than 100 feet tall to form. The calm and silent sea had at this moment turned into a roaring brute. The sea was fierce and magnificent. Bai Ning Bing, who was witnessing this for the first time, had deep emotions seeing it. Next, he flew to the sky, seeing that immortal material which Bai Xiang Heavenly Spirit was talking about. It was a small lump of flames. The flames were orange-yellow, round and the size of an adult's fist. It burned and emitted light. It formed into the shape of a flying dragon as the orange flames continued to fly around randomly. Bai Ning Bing, who was usually expressionless, showed shock on his face. Light of Tao marks, and so lively. This is a rank 9 immortal material. Rank 9 immortal materials were extremely rare. They were special materials in the world that could refine rank 9 immortal goo. Bai Ning Bing did not expect that Bai Xiang Heavenly Spirit was asking him to retrieve a rank 9 immortal material. This was out of his capabilities. Bai Ningbing had to take a risk and use the immortal goo inside him to activate a special method, communicating with Ying Wuxia outside. Didn't I tell you not to contact me? If Bai Xiang Heavenly Spirit finds out, it will be troublesome. Ying Wuxia said. I encountered trouble. I need to retrieve a rank 9 immortal material. It is a lump of orange-yellow flames. Hearing Bai Ningbing's thorough description, Ying Wuxia's expression changed. You say that the light from its Tao marks resemble flying dragons? The surrounding seawater is rushing outwards, as if it is afraid of this fire. That is indeed so. Around the fire, there is a huge empty space without any water in it. I can see the water level at the bottom of this. The empty space is still continuing to expand. Bai Ningbing added. Ying Wuxia's expression changed again. His answer this time was a little shaky. You must have read the legends of Rinzhu. Recorded inside were the 3 unique flames of heaven, earth, and human respectively. This is the human flame. Raging wave, rising dragon fire. Raging wave, rising dragon fire. Bai Ningbing heard this answer and became tongue-tied. After a short pause, Bai Ningbing asked, Then what should I do? Ying Wuxia sighed. It is very hard. With your cultivation level, there is almost no hope in subduing wild flames. However, this flame is not wild. It was once subdued by Bai Xiang. There is some chance. I have 3 methods for you. You can try them all. How big are my chances? Bai Ningbing asked. Ying Wuxia smiled bitterly. I am not sure. They all have a possibility of success, but the chances are slim. It will depend on your luck. Both of them conversed in a short time. In order to avoid getting caught, Ying Wuxia was the first to cut the connection. Ying Wuxia was not optimistic. His thoughts were shrouded in darkness. The human flame among the 3 flames of heaven, earth, and human. I am afraid only my main body after revival can have high hopes in succeeding. It seems that I need to help Bai Ningbing. If he fails, it will be troublesome for my future plans. Ying Wuxia decided to do something. Even though he was far away from Bai Ningbing, the latter was in Bai Xiang Grotto Heaven and was under the surveillance of Bai Xiang Heavenly Spirit. Ying Wuxia had many methods to help Bai Ningbing. First, there was luck. Ying Wuxia's immortal killer move, burning soul-bursting luck, that he used this killer move again. The last time he used it was in the Super Goo formation inside Central Continent's Earth Abyss. Back then, Ying Wuxia planned to refine fixed immortal travel. He burned his own soul to raise his luck sharply. Eventually, his Goo refinement still failed, but this was because Heavenly Court had already refined fixed immortal travel before him. Immortal Goo were unique. Even if his luck was overwhelming, Ying Wuxia could not refine a second fixed immortal travel in this world. Before Bai Ningbing set off, Ying Wuxia had already used Connect Luck Immortal Goo to tie their luck together. Right now, Bai Ningbing was trying to subdue the rank 9 immortal material Raging Wave Rising Dragon Fire. He could not avoid this. Ying Wuxia could only use luck to help Bai Ningbing. On the other hand, near the giant dream realm, something's happening. Fang Yuan, who had turned into a monkey, quickly hid behind the branches. 2 Goo immortals appeared. Standing below the tree Fang Yuan was in. The peach that Fang Yuan had thrown out earlier was by the feet of a Goo immortal. Brother Luo, thank you for this. A Goo immortal said, I can bring you in, but if anything happens and you get discovered, it has nothing to do with me. The other Goo immortal replied. Chapter 12:13, Immortal Opportunity Business. What? Hearing the conversation of the 2 Goo immortals, Fang Yuan's ears stood up. He jumped out of the tree, landing above the 2 Goo immortals as he hung himself on the branch. It was a normal reaction for the type of monkey that Fang Yuan had transformed into to behave curiously like this. The 2 Goo immortals did not even raise their heads. But Fang Yuan was well aware that these 2 Goo immortals had already activated their investigative methods. They also found Fang Yuan. But Fang Yuan's familiar face was a rank 8 immortal killer move. It was beyond their methods. The 2 immortals had no suspicions. They continued talking. One of them said, Brother Luo, don't worry. I also gained interest after hearing Lady White Rabbit's words. I want to interact with the rumored dream realm and test the opportunity for myself. Even though I, Jiao Lazy, am a mere lone cultivator, I hold my promises. Since I promised you and made an information path agreement, I would not do something out of line. Precisely because of your reputation, Jiao Lazy, us brothers agreed to meet you. Otherwise, you would not even see our shadows. Follow me. When you enter the formation, say that you are a member of Luo clan and are here to bring an immortal Gu to my brother. The Luo clan Gu immortal walked as he explained, the side. Lone cultivator Jiao Lazy was following after him, listening attentively. Fang Yuan sat on the branch as he watched them leave. He even followed them, brazenly jumping from tree to tree. Only after the two Gu immortals vanished did he stop moving. He looked around, screeching in confusion. His disguise was extremely convincing, displaying the might of a transformation path grandmaster. From start to finish, these two Gu immortals had no suspicions. Interesting. Fang Yuan went back to the trees, his eyes bright as excitement rose in him. He had accidentally encountered two Gu immortals' secret deal. These two had coincidentally chosen this mountain peak to meet, and right in front of Fang Yuan as well. This luck was amazing. Hearing their conversation, evidently, a righteous path Gu immortal who was part of the defensive Gu formation had gone ahead and done a secret deal with the lone cultivator Gu immortal, Jiao Lazy. The righteous path Gu immortal led the way for Jiao Lazy, letting him enter the defensive Gu formation and find his own opportunity. Fang Yuan scoffed at Jiao Lazy's idea. You really think the dream realm is this easy to interact with? Opportunity? Without specialized dream path methods, what opportunities can there be? And that righteous path Gu immortal called himself Luo. He must be from the super force Luo clan. Southern Border's righteous path had 13 super forces. They had their respective territories in the entire region. Luo clan was one of them. Can I use this chance to get into the defensive Gu formation and interact with the dream realm? Unavoidably, Fang Yuan had such a thought. He took a final glance at the formation before leaving. The monkey that Fang Yuan had turned into jumped from tree to tree, climbing mountain cliffs, and continuing to travel. After half a day, he finally left the original mountain. Continuing on and getting past some mountain peaks, Fang Yuan got rid of his transformation and returned to normal. He had a vigilant nature. If he used an immortal killer move close to the Super Gu formation, he might draw the attention and wariness of the righteous path Gu immortals. This distance should be safe. Fang Yuan estimated internally he was not certain, because he had no understanding of this Super Gu formation. However, even if the righteous path Gu immortals found his traces, there were no issues. I do not believe that after the righteous path super forces made this Super Gu formation, the demonic path and lone immortals did not come to probe it. Fang Yuan guessed correctly. The Battle of Etion Mountain was like a ball of lightning. From the calm lake that was Southern Border's Gu immortal world, it caused a massive tide that has risen with ferocity. The Battle of Etion Mountain. It involved the immortal Gu House graceful chaotic duel stage. All the major forces in Southern Border and countless Gu immortals paid attention to it. Later on, the righteous demonic battle also affected the whole of Southern Border's Gu immortal world. But eventually, that huge battle at Etion Mountain destroyed everything. All of the Gu immortals that were involved died. And in place of them at Etion Mountain, there was a gigantic dream realm that manifested out of nowhere. This made the Southern Border Gu immortals unable to even investigate Etion Mountain. The parties involved, Shadow Sect, Heavenly Court, and Fang Yuan, were keeping very quiet about it. These Southern Border Gu immortals were all kept in the dark. Ever since the righteous path went ahead to encircle the giant dream realm and created this Super Gu formation, the demonic path and lone immortals were very unwilling to give in. Many of them wanted to investigate this Gu formation. The righteous path Gu immortals often found traces of these people, but as long as they did not charge into the Gu formation, they turned a blind eye. Fang Yuan chose an ordinary mountain cave and stayed for a few days that he waited for Jiao Lazy to leave the defensive Gu formation. Jiao Lazy's movement was not concealed. He left on the same way as he went in. Since Jiao Lazy disguised as a Luo clan Gu immortal, when he left, he had to be open and nonchalant. Otherwise, it would be suspicious. Fang Yuan stared fixedly at Jiao Lazy. Seeing him fly away, Fang Yuan followed after him closely. The two flew for a while. Jiao Lazy's speed suddenly slowed down. He stopped at the peak of a nameless mountain. He turned around and looked at Fang Yuan. "Friend, You have been following me for so long. Is anything the matter? Zhao Lazy did not have a confrontational attitude, because Feng Yuan had purposely revealed his traces to Zhao Lazy when following him. He also used attitude Gu to express his goodwill. Zhao Lazy could sense it. Zhao Lazy thus did not speak to Feng Yuan in a bad tone, but he was still very guarded. I am truly sorry for troubling you. Feng Yuan greeted as he expressed his intention politely. Zhao Lazy heard Feng Yuan's following words, and his expression soothed. The reason was, Feng Yuan called himself a wandering lone cultivator. He was curious about the dream realm. But he had heard that Zhao Lazy had a way to bribe the righteous path Gu immortals and get inside the defensive Gu formation to personally interact with the dream realm. He wanted to see if he could find any opportunities. Feng Yuan thus waited outside for a long time, only following Zhao Lazy after he came out. So news have already spread. Even an outsider like you has obtained information about it. Zhao Lazy was not suspicious. He smiled helplessly. Come with me. It is normal that you want to enter the dream realm to find your immortal opportunity. However, I am not a key middleman. I will bring you to Lady White Rabbit. Zhao Lazy was very enthusiastic. He might not know Feng Yuan, but his southern border Gu immortal aura could not be false. Furthermore, southern border was the region with the most secluded cultivators in the 5 regions. This was southern border's trait. Many Gu immortals would not be known by people from the time of their ascension until their death. With less than a day's journey, Feng Yuan met with Lady White Rabbit, thanks to Zhao Lazy. This female Gu immortal had the appearance of a woman in her 20s. Her eyes were red like rubies. She had a cute round face and shiny big eyes. Her lips were lush. She spoke very quickly. Words came out of her mouth like firing a Gatling gun. The scene of meeting with Lady White Rabbit made Feng Yuan quite surprised, because this Lady White Rabbit directly placed a mortal Gu house at a mountain peak. Many demonic path and lone immortals were entering and exiting this house. We only do dream realm business here. You came to the right place. If you want to enter the dream realm, I have many reliable ways. It will depend on what price you can pay. The bigger the price you pay, the faster you can enter the dream realm. Perhaps you might be able to find your own immortal opportunity. Lady White Rabbit said this as she pointed her thumb at the wall behind her while facing Feng Yuan. There were all sorts of small boards there. People's names were written there. There are 5 more people in queue. Zhao Lazy saw this and sighed. You must know the importance of the immortal opportunity. Lady White Rabbit stared at Feng Yuan as she spoke, listing many examples in history before she added, the prophecy of 3 venerables, you must know about it. Dream realm. This is the immortal opportunity that concerns Great Dream Immortal Venerable. Think about it. If you can become Great Dream Immortal Venerable in the future, what would happen? Even if you only get one small opportunity, your situation will change. If you do not try this, how would you know if you are able to succeed? That's right. Even if you know you cannot succeed, you can ensure that you have no regrets in the future. Zhao Lazy added at the side. A precious dream realm that even the righteous path Gu immortals are coveting. It is so rare that we can have this chance. That's right. Now is just the start. Thus, the righteous path is not very strict yet. Lady White Rabbit continued, purposely telling Feng Yuan. After a while, it will be different. This business will not last long. The opportunity will depend on whether you can grab hold of it. What price do I have to pay? Feng Yuan pretended to hesitate. Lady White Rabbit said a sum. Feng Yuan showed a look of hesitation. I will consider it first. Of course, consider it well. Lady White Rabbit smiled. Her attitude was still very polite this time. A female Gu immortal came to the counter. Lady White Rabbit's smile became more sincere. She disregarded Feng Yuan as she went over. Sister Miaoyin, you are here to try to find an opportunity again? That female Gu immortal nodded, saying, I feel that if I change to another location and enter the dream realm, I will have different gains. There were many Gu immortals inside the mortal Gu house. Lady White Rabbit was not the only intermediary. From time to time, new boards were hung on the wall. Feng Yuan walked out of the mortal Gu house, saying goodbye to Zhao Lazy. You can consider this again, but in my opinion, you should decide it as soon as possible. It cannot be dragged out. You can see the situation for yourself. The longer you think, the longer the queue of Gu immortals become. there is no time to waste," Jiao Lazy said before leaving. Fang Yuan expressed his gratitude as he left. Well, has he not made up his mind yet? Lady White Rabbit finished attending to her sister Miao Yin as she asked Jiao Lazy. He said he needs to think about it. Sigh. I thought that I could earn a sum of recommendation fees to replenish my losses. Jiao Lazy smiled bitterly. Jiao Lazy, you are so affluent. Why are you acting poor to me? Lady White Rabbit laughed. However, this person that you brought is likely a wandering, secluded cultivator. He is poor and does not have resources. Otherwise, why would he leave? Those with some funds would at least stay and interact for a while before leaving. Jiao Lazy laughed bitterly. How am I affluent? I thank Lady White Rabbit for the praise. To speak the truth, this price is really expensive. Even I feel great loss. Lady White Rabbit smiled, showing her pearly white teeth. This business relies on both parties' wishes. It is pricey because it is worth the cost. This is an opportunity involving great dream immortal venerable after all, right? Jiao Lazy nodded, making up his mind, saying, I will pay a sum of resources. I want to try again. Chapter 1214. Situation of Southern Border. Looking at the clouds in the sky, Fang Yuan's expression was dark that he thought about the scene earlier. Out of his expectations, that immortal opportunity business, as it was known, of the dream realm was extremely popular. The involvement was far bigger than he had predicted earlier. Looking at the situation inside the Mortal Goo house and Lady White Rabbit's tone, evidently, whether they were demonic path or lone cultivators, as long as they could pay the price, anyone could enter the Righteous Path's defensive goo formation and interact with the dream realm. This is slightly above my expectations, but thinking about it, I understand why. Dream Path.at this time period, it was very empty. Even though many super forces were researching on it, their gains were little. Fang Yuan had the killer move Unravel Dream. He was a leading figure in the current 5 regions. Of course, Ing Wuxie's lead soul into Dream was also very unique. It was an ability that surpassed the current era. Lead soul into Dream had displayed incredible might during the Battle of Etian Mountain. The Heavenly Court Goo Immortals had suffered due to it, and Fang Yuan's killer move, Unravel Dream, also gave him great gains and immense profits. The Righteous Path Goo Immortals might have encircled this dream realm, but they have no way of excavating the treasures inside. In fact, a while later, they lost many members, among which were rank 7 Goo Immortal experts holding great authority. Luo clan even lost their 3rd Supreme Elder. Such information could not be hidden. It was widely spread in the Southern Border Goo Immortal world. Fang Yuan could easily obtain this information. The Righteous Path suffered a lot. They know the power of the dream realm. It is not possible to explore it randomly, so they used this method to scam the demonic path and lone cultivators' resources. And if any accidents happen, they would not need to waste any of their members to deal a huge blow to these non-righteous members. It is truly killing 2 birds with 1 stone. To be able to make this immortal opportunity business so popular and at such a huge scale, but still have the ability to remain intact, evidently, the Righteous Path have come to a consensus. Lady White Rabbit's Mortal Goo house is backed by Southern Border's Righteous Path Goo Immortals. 1 clan is not enough. There are at least 6 or 7 clans working together to result in this fearless stance. Fang Yuan was an old schemer. Because of the experiences in the 500 years of his previous life, he could clearly deduce all of the details regarding this immortal opportunity business. This way, even though he could use this method to enter the Righteous Path defensive Goo formation and interact with the dream realm, he could not satisfy his own needs. What were Fang Yuan's needs? Firstly, he needed time and opportunity to interact with the giant dream realm for an extended period of time. Secondly, he needed an identity to protect himself. Even if anything happened to the dream realm, he could continue staying there. Just 1 or 2 trips into the dream realm. What could Fang Yuan get? Just the cost involved was extremely high. But the prophecy of 3 venerables had deeply affected everyone. Countless Goo Immortals were still going ahead with it. The Righteous Path Goo Immortals had already tasted suffering. By the time these demonic path and lone immortals realized the futility, their enthusiasm would fade. Furthermore, even if Fang Yuan did this and unraveled the dream realm, Gaining an increase in his attainment level. It would trigger a change in the dream realm. At least, the dream realm would shrink by an amount. If other righteous path Gu immortals realized this situation, what would they do? By then, Fang Yuan would be inside the Gu formation, like fish on the chopping block. Even with the upper extreme heavenly eagle, Fang Yuan had no heavenly crystals to feed it. If I cannot do this, what should I try? Kill a righteous path Gu immortal and use familiar face to disguise myself before going inside. Fang Yuan thought about this. He shook his head, discarding this unrealistic idea. Firstly, Gu immortals from righteous path forces would use methods like Life Tablet Gu, Soul Lantern Gu, or Blood Rope Gu. These methods allowed their clans to easily inspect if the Gu immortal was dead or alive. Furthermore, they could use these Life Tablet Gu, Soul Lantern Gu, or Blood Rope Gu to deduce the exact location of these Gu immortals with great ease. Once Fang Yuan kills these Gu immortals, the clan would react immediately. Unless Fang Yuan had information path methods that could deceive these Gu worms. Fang Yuan had always been weak in terms of information path. Furthermore, Familiar Face might be a rank 8 killer move, but it was not flawless. For example, back in Eastern Sea, Ing Wuxia could use Luck Inspection Immortal Gu to find out Fang Yuan's identity. Finally, once a long time passes, even if Fang Yuan used Familiar Face, lots of minute details or habits of the Gu immortal would slowly become flaws that allow others to realize a problem. Thus, killing someone and replacing them was not feasible. Fang Yuan thought from all angles. He could not think of any good ideas, even if Fang Yuan had rank 8 battle strength and attacked the Gu formation forcefully, he might not be able to succeed. Even if he broke the Gu formation, there were still many rank 8 Gu immortals in southern border by that time. When rank 8 enemies encircle him, Fang Yuan would be able to explore any dream realms that he could not find a solution. Fang Yuan was quite helpless. He thought about it and returned to the mortal Gu house. Lady White Rabbit's eyes shone. She greeted Fang Yuan. Have you considered it? You want to find your own immortal opportunity? Fang Yuan smiled bitterly. Fairy White Rabbit, I am but a secluded wanderer. I have not interacted much with the outside world. This price will cost me almost all my assets. I need to consider it. I am here this time to get some information from you and understand matters in southern borders Gu immortal world. Fang Yuan said this as he handed Fairy White Rabbit a rank 6 immortal material. Fairy White Rabbit was slightly surprised. Even though this immortal material was very common, Fang Yuan's request was not hard. These days, she had been managing this business. She interacted with all sorts of Gu immortals. She had a good understanding of the Gu immortal world's current situation. Let's talk using this. Fairy White Rabbit gave Fang Yuan an information path mortal Gu. Super Dream Realm, Righteous Path Gu Formation. We meet again, Fairy Miaoyin. Do you remember me? A Chao Clan Gu immortal led a female Gu immortal as they entered the Gu formation. Even though he was a righteous path Gu immortal, he had a fawning tone, because this Fairy Miaoyin, although from the demonic path, was extremely beautiful. She inherited a predecessor's blessed land and was extremely affluent. She was publicly known as one of the 3 great fairies in southern borders Gu immortal world. The two entered the Gu formation. This was seen by the 2 righteous path Gu immortals at the center of the Gu formation. These people are becoming more daring. They used to come once every 7 days, but now they come every 1 or 2 days, bringing all sorts of people in here. The 2 Gu immortals from Luo clan are still fine. They bring in people with good reputations and clean records. But Xiao clan's Gu immortals have no restraints. They are very greedy. This Miaoyin is a demonic path member. In the past, she had destroyed 2 important resource points of my Ba clan, and even injured 4 Ba clan Gu immortals who chased her. Gu immortal Ba Quan Feng said angrily. Beside him was another Ba clan Gu immortal. This person was very tall, nearly 3 meters. He had an old-fashioned appearance. His beard and hair were connected. His dark green beard hung down to his waist, while his jade green hair extended to the back of his waist. He had a large mouth and broad nose. His eyes were covered by a black cloth, covering them completely. He had a strong body with broad shoulders and chest. His skin that was not covered looked like 1,000-year-old tree bark. There was even green moss growing on it. He was thousands of years old. His cultivation level was stuck at the final step before reaching rank 8. He had rank 7 peak battle strength, publicly recognized in Southern Border's Gu Immortal World as the #1 person under rank 8. Old Treeman Bada spoke slowly. Little Feng, don't be anxious. Even though Qiao clan is weak, at the bottom of the righteous path forces, they are backed by Wu clan. Qiao clan and Wu clan have been linked by alliance marriages for tens of thousands of years. Ba Quanfeng heard about Wu clan and the anger on his face faded, but he still continued. Qiao clan is a righteous path force, but for the last few thousand years, they have been at Wu clan's beck and call. They are just a dog raised by Wu clan. This Wu clan is too overbearing. With 2 rank 8 Gu immortals in the clan, they act fearlessly. This time, they actually cooperated with 6 other clans, using this dream realm to make their immortal opportunity business. What do they think of the remaining 6 clans not involved, us included? This super Gu formation was made by all of us. We created it with all of our immortal Gu. Bada laughed. Little Feng, you are thinking that everyone should have a part of the profits? Ba Quanfeng's thoughts were exposed. His face turned red. I could not hide it from you, Lord. Bada shook his head. Wu clan's actions will attract even more clans to join in. After all, we have already realized that now is not the time to explore the dream realm. This method can give us greater profits. It is good for us. But our Ba clan cannot join in. Why is that? Ba Quanfeng asked quickly. There are advantages and disadvantages in this. Even though they gain many cultivation resources, we gain a hold on them in return. With enough evidence, in the future when we argue over it, my Ba clan will have the advantage. When we split the dream realm, we will get a bigger portion. Little Feng, look forward. The dream realm cannot be explored now. But what about the future? The dream realm is the true treasure. Bada sighed. But Wu clan is so domineering. They have 2 rank 8 Gu immortals while we only have 1. By then, if they keep a strong stance, we cannot stop them. Ba Quanfeng said angrily. We cannot stop Wu clan, but what about the other clans? Furthermore, Wu clan's first supreme elder is close to dying. Wu clan will soon be in unrest for a long time. With just 1 rank 8 Gu immortal left, can Wu clan still be the #1 righteous path force? Bada smiled with deep meaning. Ba Quanfeng stared with wide eyes. So the rumors that Wu clan first supreme elder's lifespan is depleted are not false. Impossible. They are a huge force. How can they not have lifespan Gu stocked up? Wu clan's first supreme elder had used other lifespan extension methods when she was young. There were problems left behind. Right now, lifespan Gu has no use to her. Bada sighed. With her death, the entire situation in Southern Border will change. By then, we'll see if Wu clan can control the situation. Our clans will have a chance to strike. After all these years, Wu clan has occupied too many resources. Chapter 12:15, Wu clan's conflict. Wu Duxiu slowly opened her eyes. A brand new day. She thought to herself that a rank 8 immortal Gu was flying around in this average-sized house. Food path immortal Gu, medicine fragrance. This was a healing immortal Gu. It filled the entire house with a thick fragrance of medicine. But Wu Duxiu's own rotting smell was intense. The medicine fragrance could not conceal it. The two smells mixed together. Even Gu immortals could not stand it. Another passing day meant one less day left. That Wu Duxiu knew that she was very close to dying at this moment. She was lying in her bed, looking at the scene outside her room. Her heart was filled with tranquility. Long ago, when she was still a rank 6 Gu immortal, she fell in love with a demonic path Gu cultivator and was punished by the clan. She was locked in this house for 15 years. To think that this was her fortuitous encounter. It turned out, inside this house, there was an inheritance of a Wu clan ancestor. Wu Duxiu obtained it and cultivated in secret. Her strength rose rapidly and drastically. She even used the great expert's blessed land to meet with her lover in secret. Wu clan's Gu immortals did not expect that Wu Duxiu was openly breaking the clan rules under their watch. Those were Wu Duxiu's happiest years. She was immersed in unparalleled bliss. Back then, she was just a young, beautiful, and silly girl. She did not know the vicious nature of people. She could not tell that her lover had ulterior motives. Time passed. Thousands of years later, Wu Duxiu returned to this house. She was close to dying. Her lifespan was running out. She had days left. This old woman was filled with experience and fatigue. Her murky gaze seemed to have crossed thousands of years, back to the past when she spent her happiest times laughing in this house. All of her memories were surfacing in her mind. These memories were forever painted in a rosy light. The windows of the house were opened. A gentle breeze carrying the fragrance of flowers and grass entered her room at a young lady with a beautiful appearance. Youthful with eyes clear as water, greatly moving. She was singing in the house, cleaning up the place and doing a lot of mortal chores. Yet she was extremely happy and lively. At that time, happiness was so easily obtained. But as she grew older, this simple bliss left her. As for that lover, Wu Duxiu's first love, she had already forgotten him. His image was blurry. The pain that he had caused Wu Duxiu caused her to grieve terribly. The hatred that tortured her tired soul had faded with the wind. Creak. With a soft sound, the door of the house was opened by someone. Wu Duxiu turned her head with difficulty through the curtains. She saw a familiar figure. She was not surprised. She had allowed this. She was Wu Clan's first supreme elder, a person who was in power for thousands of years. Without her permission, who could enter this house? You are here. Wu Duxiu spoke faintly with much difficulty, but the person who came was very well-mannered. He knelt on the ground and bowed deeply. I am here to meet you, mother. This person was a middle-aged man with an ordinary appearance. He had a strong body and sharp eyebrows, giving him a dark and hazy aura. Wu Duxiu spoke. I called you here to tell you something. You have a younger half-brother. He was born in Eastern Sea. I will pass everything in Wu Clan to you, and my own inheritance will be left to him. Do you understand? The middle-aged man lowered his head until it touched the ground. This child understands. You may leave. Wu Duxiu paused for a moment before saying, I will take my leave. The middle-aged Gu immortal said carefully. He slowly got up and moved back a few steps before turning around and leaving the house, softly shutting the doors. He did not dare to even breathe loudly. He had an expression of reverence that never changed. Only after he left and passed several large mountains, reaching his own immortal Gu house, did his expression change. Mother is muddle-headed. Before dying, she actually wants to bring back that illegitimate son. That bastard, can't he stay in Eastern Sea for good? Why must he return and fight with me over the inheritance? The middle-aged Gu immortal flew into a rage. Master, don't be angry. Mind your health. A rank 7 Gu immortal with a hunched back quickly urged. The middle-aged Gu immortal kicked him away, roaring. Mother's abilities come from her wind path, immortal Gu. She wants to hand these immortal Gu to that bastard. Without these immortal Gu, with just my rank 8 cultivation level, what can I do? We would still be bullied by Ba Clan, Tai Clan, and Shang Clan, saying that she will leave everything in Wu Clan to me. Why do I want these resources for? I want her rank 8 immortal Gu. I want battle strength. With strength, what can I not get? The middle-aged Gu immortal got angrier as he spoke. He paced around in the immortal Gu house. Master, we could also just finish him off. The rank 7 hunched-back Gu immortal walked forward and chopped downwards with his hand. The middle-aged Gu immortal stopped walking. He frowned deeply, turning to ask the rank 7 Gu immortal. You mean to say? That's right. First Supreme Elder only has 2 sons. Other than you, there is only the Eastern Sea illegitimate son. If we kill him, then all of First Supreme Elder's inheritance will be yours, right? The rank 7 hunched-back Gu immortal smiled sinisterly. The middle-aged Gu immortal blinked rapidly as sweat appeared on his forehead. No, if mother finds out, I will be finished. Thinking about his mother's methods, even though the middle-aged Gu immortal had rank 8 cultivation level, he could not help but tremble. Forget it. He is only rank 7. What can he do even if he returns? The middle-aged Gu immortal sighed deeply, but the hunchback Gu immortal did not give up. He continued to speak. Oh, master, you cannot think like that. He already has rank 7 cultivation level. What will happen when he gets First Supreme Elder's immortal Gu? The middle-aged Gu immortal snorted, regaining some of his defiance. Even if he has rank 8 immortal Gu, his Dao mark accumulation cannot compare to mine. He is not my match. It is a pity regarding those 2 rank 8 immortal Gu. However, sigh. The hunchback Gu immortal smiled sinisterly. Master, you are just hesitant because you are afraid of failure and causing First Supreme Elder to punish you. Actually, we do not need to act ourselves. Other than us, there is Ba clan, Tai clan, Chi clan, and others. They are all after our clan status. They want to displace us. As long as we release information about his traveling route, we can lure them to attack. By then, we will benefit from it greatly. The middle-aged Gu immortal heard, and his eyes shone. He praised. Good plan, Su Toa. You are indeed my greatest aid. When I become First Supreme Elder, I will not mistreat you. Master, it is my job to solve problems for you. It is my honor. The hunchback Gu immortal's eyes were turning red as he choked, holding back a sob. The middle-aged Gu immortal patted Su Tuo's shoulder. He did not speak, he only showed happiness on his face. Inside the immortal Gu house, both master and servant had a lightened atmosphere. Master, there is no time. Should I go prepare now? Yes, go ahead. I am assured if you are handling it. After leaving the immortal Gu house, Su Tuo's eyes flashed with a sharp and dark light. Humph. After spending so much effort, I finally managed to convince this Wu Yong. This way, even if I expose information about this illegitimate son and get hunted down by others, I will be safe under Wu Yong's protection. My true identity will not be exposed. Su Tuo's true identity was not just simply Wu Yong's servant. The truth was, he was a Ba clan Gu immortal. He was a spy planted into Wu clan. He had the highest authority among the spies. The situation in southern border was very different from northern plains and central continent. Among the righteous path forces in southern border, Wu clan was the domineering one. In history, at their peak, they had 3 rank 8 Gu immortals. And across history, Wu clan always had at least 1 rank 8 Gu immortal to hold the fort in their clan. That Wu clan had always been strong. Wu Duxio's life was ending. While Wu Yong was not talented enough, even though he was rank 8, compared to the other righteous path rank 8s, he was not impressive. That Wu Duxio's illegitimate son, Wu Yihai, had incredible talent according to some information. Even though he was a lone cultivator in Eastern Sea, he had formidable battle strength. He was quite famous even in Eastern Sea's Gu immortal world. Killing Wu Yihai could not only weaken Wu clan, it can also attack Wu Yong's reputation and send Wu clan into chaos and suspicion internally. Su Tuo went with much hope. Some days later, 3 Gu immortals were passing through the Miasma regional wall. Young master, we are almost through the Miasma regional wall. This is the final hurdle. Once we are out of the regional wall, they will have fewer chances to attack us. An elderly Gu immortal said solemnly. Wu Yihai suddenly said, Uncle Zhang, you mean that the following part of the journey is the most dangerous? That's right. The elderly Gu immortal nodded seriously. Another young-looking Gu immortal said, but as long as we get through this, we will be completely free. As long as you can meet your mother, all of the hardship and suffering on this trip would be repaid by hundreds or thousands of times. Hearing about his mother, Wu Yihai had complex emotions. He sighed. Oh, what rewards? I am not thinking about them. I just want to see my birth mother. She was the one who abandoned me, but she also got Uncle Zhang to lead me on the road of cultivation. I want to meet her personally, and for the first and final time, before leaving. I am an Eastern Sea Gu immortal. I became immortal in Eastern Sea. Uncle Zhang smiled. Young master, don't worry. First Supreme Elder had long since thought of this. She prepared everything for you. Even though you became immortal in Eastern Sea, we have an immortal killer move to cleanse your heaven and earth chi, to turn you from an Eastern Sea Gu immortal to a southern border Gu immortal. From now on, you can undergo tribulations in southern border, taking in heaven and earth chi without any problems. Oh, there is such a way. Wu Yihai heard this and became overjoyed. Even though he had some fame in Eastern Sea, he was just a lone cultivator. He knew the pain and weakness of cultivating alone. If he had a super force to rely on, Wu Yihai would be glad about it. He was just thinking about this, when suddenly, dragon breath resembling sword light assaulted his face.